get right into it, Samantha. Fans really know you as one half of Marian Hill, but you have this new solo project out coming out, Flash in the Pan, a first solo EP. What made now the right moment for you to step out on your own?
That's such an interesting question. Honestly, this EP has had so many iterations. I started working on it honestly 5 years ago, and then COVID happened, and obviously everything just fell apart. And I finally was like, if I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it. And I stopped trying to put the pressure on that it had to be this perfect EP. And I was like, I'm just gonna put something out. So
Yeah.
I felt like this is the time.
Oh, no, totally. And I feel like going solo after building such a strong identity in a duo is such a bold move. What has been the most freeing part of creating just under your own name?
Yeah, honestly, I think just that. I'm so lucky that Jeremy and I had such a fruitful collaboration for like almost 10 years. But, you sort of get used to doing one thing and creating a sound. And this felt like I could infuse some of my own stories. It felt more personal. I could explore sonically. So it was really exciting. It was kind of scary at first, but it's been really freeing and fun.
Yeah, I have to think like, you're in a duo, you have all the success, it's you and another person, but then now it's just the spotlight's on you. So is there anything maybe like you learned about yourself during this process of just navigating as a solo artist?
Yeah, it's funny, like the grass is always greener. And I feel like, when you're so used to having a partner to just even bounce ideas off of, you get so used to that and you're like, oh, I'll be fine on my own. And then like so many things that you take for granted, having that extra person, you're on your own. I'm like, wait, I'm responsible for this.
Yeah.
Even in terms of like writing a song, I'm like, is it good? Am I out of my mind? Am I going insane? So learning to like trust yourself and knowing, I think, when to turn the page, I think has been instructive.
Yeah, and has like Jeremy heard any of the songs? Like, did you kind of go for him for any advice?
I did. I resisted at first, but I did. And actually he's producing on one of the songs, which was really fun. A song called Whiplash, which is a song on the EP that's a little more Marian Hill-esque. So that was really fun to work together in that capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he likes it. He's being honest, maybe not, but I think he likes it.
And what do you hope maybe fans hear in this shift of this new sound and this new era for you?
Yeah, I just hope they have fun with it. I hope they realize too that like being an artist doesn't necessarily mean one thing. I think so often we try to put people in boxes and think artists should have one specific sound. And I feel like Marian Hill's an incredible project that I'm so lucky to be a part of. But this is another project that's fun and tells a different side of me and shows a different side of my artistry. So I just hope I hope they can love both. I hope they can love all of it, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. Now, this name Flash in the Pan, I need to know more about it, like what the concept is about. Why did you want to name this EP that?
Yeah, so I've always been kind of in love with like, it's so funny because I feel like Taylor Swift now is having this big like showgirl moment, but I've always like I was there. But I just like love sort of theater and the theatricality of the entertainment business. And I feel like when you are in it for so long, there's so many ups and downs. Like I've been lucky to be in it long enough that I've reached great heights and know what it's like when nobody returns her call. And this idea of flash in the pan really resonated because especially as a woman in show business and getting older and feeling like, you're in your 30s and your friends are hitting certain milestones and you're still out here kind of like chasing this sort of what often feels this unattainable dream. And you're like, should I just like hang it up? Like, did I have my moment? And it's sort of tongue in cheek. Like I love, like some people reach out, they're like, oh, the song is so sad. I'm like, it's supposed to be, it's like Robin's like dancing on my own. Like it's supposed to be tongue in cheek and this like, sad like club banger, even though it's not that. But I just loved it. And I loved the image of Flash in the Pan and kind of what it meant for the project as a whole.
Yeah, and I feel like we are in a weird time too. Like I just turned 31 about a month ago, and I'm in that same like state where it's like you see people kind of moving on to that next chapter in their life, but then you're like, I have this dream, I'm so good at it, like I'm so close to reaching my goal. Like how do you, even advice for myself, like how do you stay grounded and really focused to be that person that you are?
Sometimes I don't.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm like an angry troll. I'm like, I need to just hang it up. Especially, I feel like, I like social media, but like it hasn't always come easy to me, and like I kind of sometimes resent like the constant need to be visible. And it's so funny. I was telling a friend, they're like, "How's it going this week?" And I was like, I'm just tired of looking at myself. I was like, I'm tired of like editing content and like looking at my face. I'm just, it's so much sometimes can be relentless. But I think sometimes you just have to check in with yourself and remember why you're doing it. And I think that there's no correct timeline. We can achieve anything at any age. And I really firmly believe that. But it's okay to, sometimes you also need to check out and just be like, I need to just unplug.
Yeah. So the EP has a lot of different themes, because I've been dissecting this, checking it out. You got self-reflection, you have uncertainty, and even time passing. So can you tell me more about these themes and these concepts and how you wanted to put everything together in one project?
Like I said, like I just like being in my 30s, especially like post-COVID, things got really wonky. And I think like idea of like being in your 30s kind of hit me harder, and again, like watching my friends like hit these milestones and become moms, and I'm like, do I even want this? And I think also like not competing per se, but like trying to advance your artistry, like when sort of like Gen Z and like even like younger people are like coming up, you can't fake youth, you know what I mean? Like you can't fake authenticity. And I think like you can't compete with that anymore. As you get older, you just have to almost become like the best or better version of yourself and just like lean into kind of who you are and what you love, and like stop trying to be cool, I guess.
Yeah.
I was playing with so many different things, and for a long time I was so focused on like trying to make the perfect record and like the perfect iteration of Marian Hill, and how am I still hanging on to like being cool, and what does this mean? And finally I was like, I no longer care. I was like, I'm just going to release a singer-songwriter record. It's kind of country. I'm going to do a pop record. I'm going to do a more Marian Hill record. And maybe no one likes it, but sometimes like putting just one foot forward is like the most important thing, whether or not it's perfect. So I'm like, I'm going to do it all and explore it all and use that as a stepping stone.
Growing up and maturing is realizing that you don't care about those little things.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's exhausting, like trying to constantly chase trends and be cool. And it's like, oh God, vomit. I think too, like, this is kind of a aside, but I released this this web series, and I'm only bringing it up because it was also titled Flash in the Pan. I feel like for so long, like I was so concerned with trying to look perfect on camera, and it feels so rigid. And that was a really fun exploration, like letting go and being like, oh, this is my bad side, but guess what? Humans are three-dimensional, and I'm going to look bad in this shot, but oh well. It is what it is. The lighting isn't perfect, but here we go. You can see every line of my face.
And I love how you brought up the web series, because that's what I was going to ask you about. I was going to ask you, does it feel like a mirror of the EP? Like what really inspired you to tell this story in a semi-autobiographical way?
Yeah, it did. To make a very long story short, I wrote it with my brother. We started it in COVID. It originally had more of like a COVID backdrop, but at the time it was way too soon and nobody wanted to watch anything about COVID, understandably. So when I was sort of writing for the EP, I realized that a lot of the themes that I was exploring in the EP were similar to what we had worked on in the show. And it felt like a really nice, natural complement to the EP. And I told my brother, I was like, we'd originally written a 30-minute pilot, and we were like, instead of that, why don't we like transition it, do like a 6-episode web series, also because it's really expensive, and that's all I look forward to do. Started with 10 episodes and went down to 8, went down to 6, which is cool. We were like, how do we just figure that out? But it was really fun, and I've never really written anything for film or TV, even just for fun. So it was really new for me. It was a totally new project, and I feel like we learned a lot, and hopefully can do even better in season 2.
Kind of going back to the EP, like what song do you feel like represents you the most in this current state in your life right now?
Oh gosh, that's such an interesting question. I feel like they all have, I like them all for different reasons, but Flash in the Pan feels like the most, at least lyrically and thematically, feels like the most, it's the title track, and it feels like the most kind of words are failing me. It's like the perfect encapsulation of like everything
that
the EP is about, and I feel like where I am in life, or at least where I was when I wrote it, but haven't jumped too far. So
Okay, okay.
yeah.
And if Flash in the Pan were turned into a cocktail, what do you think the cocktail would be?
Oh my God. That's a really good question. Is it like a known cocktail or can I make it up?
You can make it up.
Honestly, it feels like champagne. It feels like champagne's like a main ingredient, like champagne and some kind of like fruit. I don't know, some kind of like random, almost like a Bellini.
Okay.
Like, I don't know, like an elderflower, peach, champagne, Bellini.
Okay.